first degree. Premeditated homicide is the most serious charge tried in our courts. You have heard a long and complex case, gentlemen, and it is now your duty to sit down and try to separate the facts from the fantasy. One man is dead. The life of another is at stake. If there is a reasonable doubt in your minds as to the guilt of the accused, then you must declare him not guilty. If, however, there is no reasonable doubt, then he must be found guilty. Whichever way you decide, the verdict must be unanimous. I urge you to deliberate honestly and thoughtfully. You are faced with a great responsibility. Thank you. The jury will now retire.
He doesn't stand a chance.
Thank you, but no.
I know lots of things. I'm advertising.
No, it's hot. Really? I never would have known. She had told me. Would you? I suppose not. I haven't forgotten.
All I've done all day is sweat.
I bet you aren't sweating like that kid who was tried.
I think they're at least air conditioned place. I was shocked down in court.
My taxes aren't high enough.
Should have asked anyways.
Yes, it's hot.
Okay, everyone's here. If there's anything you need, I'm right outside. Just knock.
Did he lock that door?
Yes, he did.
What do they think we are, crooks?
Hey, lock us up for a little while.
And then they lock that kid up forever, and that's okay with me?
I never did that.
Sure they look at your. What did you think?
It just didn't ever occur to me.
Shall we all admit right now that it's hot and humid and our temperature's short?
It's been a pretty hard week.
I feel just fine.
I wonder what's been going on down at the office. Advertising. It's 6 days for a job to be gone. And the whole company, too.
Well, figure, this is our duty.
I didn't object to anything like duty. I just mentioned I might not have a job by the time I get back.
Ask him to hire you. He's rich. Look at that suit.
Is it Cousin Taylor?
Yes, it is.
I know Cousin Taylor.
How does he do?
Not too well. You know, a friend of his, that's a friend of my uncle, Taylor. Well, this friend wanted to be on the jury in my place.
Why would we let him have any good things?
And get caught or something? Do you know what kind of fine I'd have to pay for anything like that? Anyway, this friend of my uncle was on a jury once, about 10 years ago. A case just about like this one.
So, what happened?
They let him off, reasonable doubt. And do you know, about 8 years later, they found out he'd actually done it anyways. A guilty man on Monroe was turned loose in the street.
Did they get him?
They couldn't.
Why not?
A man can't be held in double jeopardy. Unless it's a hung jury, they cannot try a man twice for the same crime.
How does it get out here?
6 days. They should have finished it in 2. Talk, talk, talk. Did you ever hear so much talk about nothing?
Well, I suppose they're entitled.
Everybody gets a fair trial. That's the system. Well, suppose you can't say anything against it.
I think I'll get that switch knife. Have you ever heard about your story?
Well, look, he's got a strike that. You know what you're dealing with.
You got a switch knife that night.
And then you lost it.
Full his pocket.
A hole in his father.
Awful way to kill your father. Knife to the chest?
Look at the kind of people they are. You know them.
What's the matter? You got holes?
A
take seats.
Right. This better go fast. I've seen some funny girls tonight. Probably the only girl in the world who hasn't seen it yet. The honor starts the show.
How about sitting down? The gentleman at the window, how about sitting down?
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's tough to figure, isn't it? The kid kills his father, bam! Just like that. Well, the element. Let the kid run wild. Maybe it serves him right.
There are better proofs than some emotion might have. Perhaps a dislike for some group.
All agree to spot.
And that our tempers will get short.
That's if we disagree. But this is open and shut. Let's get it done.
Now, you can handle this any way you want. I mean, I'm not going to make any rules. If we want to discuss it first and then vote, that's one way. Or we can vote right now and see how we stand.
Why do we vote now? Maybe we can all go home.
Yeah, let's see who's where.
Right. Let's vote now.
All right, let us vote.
Anybody doesn't want to vote?
That was easy.
Okay. All those voting guilty, raise your hands. Eight, 9, 10, 11. Okay, that's 11 guilty. Not guilty?
Hey! You're in left field!
Okay. 11 to 1. 11 guilty, 1 not guilty. Now we know where we stand.
Do you really believe the kid's not guilty?
I don't know.
After 6 days, he doesn't know? In 6 days, I've learned calculus. This is ABC.
I don't believe that it is as simple as ABC.
I never saw a guiltier man in my life.
What does a guilty man look like? He isn't guilty until we say he is guilty. Are we to vote on a man's face?
You sat right in court and heard the same things I did. The man's a dangerous killer. You can see it.
Where do you look to see if a man's a killer?
Oh, well,
I'd like to know. What are the facial characteristics of a killer? Maybe you know something that we don't.
Look, what is there about this case that makes you think the boy is innocent?
He's 19 years old.
that's old enough. He knifed his own father 4 inches into the chest. An innocent little 19-year-old kid.
I do agree with you that the boy is guilty, but I think we should try to avoid emotionally colored arguments.
All right. They proved it a dozen different ways. Do you want me to list them?
No.
Will you be the stupid story he told?
Now.
Do you believe the kid's story?
I don't know whether I believe it or not. Maybe I don't.
So, what did you vote not guilty for?
There were 11 votes for guilty. It's not so easy for me to raise my hand and send a boy off to die without talking about it first.
Said it was easy for me.
Or me.
No one?
He still says guilty, whether it's an easy vote or a hard vote.
Is there something wrong because I voted fast?
Not necessarily.
I think the guy's guilty. And you couldn't change my mind. You talked for 100 years.
I don't want to change your mind.
Just what are you thinking of?
Look, I just want to talk for a while. This kid has been kicked around his entire life. Living in a slum, his mother dead since he was 9. That's not a very great head start. He's a tough, angry kid. You know why slum kids get that way? It's because we knock them over the head once a day, every day. I just think maybe we owe him a few words. That's all.
Alright, it's hard. Sure. It was hard for me. Everything I got, I taught for. I worked my way through college. That was a long time ago. And perhaps we do forget. I taught, yes, but I never killed.
I know what it's like. I never killed nobody.
I never kicked around too. Just waiting to ad agency and the big boy as advertising comes in. We all know.
In my country, in Europe, kicking was a science. But let's try and find something better than that.
I don't mind telling you this, mister. We don't owe the kid a thing. He got a fair trial, didn't he? You know what that trial cost. He's lucky he's got it. Look, we're all grown-ups here, and you're not going to tell us that we're supposed to be with him, knowing what he is. I lived along my whole life, and you can't believe the word they say. You know that.
Don't know that. What a terrible thing for a person to believe. Since when is dishonesty a group characteristic? monopoly on the truth.
All right. It's not Sunday. We don't need a sermon.
This person says it's very dangerous.
I don't see any need for arguing like this. I think we ought to behave like human beings.
Right?
All right.
Thank you. If we are going to discuss this case, why, let's discuss the facts.
I think that's a good point. We have a job to do. Let's do it.
If you all don't mind, I'm going to close the window.
If you don't mind, I'd like to help with the open.
But it was blowing on me.
It sounds hot, a little air.
I have some rakes too.
So do the rest of us.
Could you trade chairs with someone else at the other end of the table?
Thank you. All right. I will open the window if someone would trade.
Take my chair.
Thank you.
Shall we get back to the case?
Yeah, let's.
I may have an idea. I'm just thinking out loud. It seems to me that it's up to us as gentlemen that we're running these. Maybe if you want to talk for a minute or two, try it on for size.
That sounds fair enough.
Very fair.
Supposing we go once around the table.
All right, let's do it.
Right, we'll start with you.
Oh, I just think he's guilty. I thought it was obvious.
In what way was it obvious?
I mean that nobody proved otherwise.
Nobody has to prove otherwise. Innocent until proven guilty. The burden of proof is on the prosecution. The defendant doesn't even have to open his mouth. That's in the Constitution. Fifth Amendment. You've heard of it.
Everyone has.
Well, sure, I've heard of it. I know what it is. Anyway, I just think he's guilty.
No reasons. Just guilty. There's a life at stake here.
Okay, let's get to the facts. Number one, let's take the old man who lives on the second floor, right underneath the room where the murder took place. At 10 minutes after 12 on the night of the killing, he heard loud noises coming from the upstairs apartment. He said it sounded like a fight. He heard the kid say to his father, "I'm going to kill you." A second later, he heard a body falling and he ran to the door of his apartment, looked out, and saw the kid run downstairs and out of the house. Then he called the police. They found the father with a knife in his chest.
And the coroner found dead at around midnight.
Right? Now what else do you want?
It doesn't seem to fit.
That boy's entire story is flimsy. He claimed he was at the movies. Now that's a little ridiculous, isn't it? He couldn't even remember what picture he saw.
That's right. Did you hear that? You're absolutely right.
He didn't have any ticket stub. Who keeps a ticket stub in movies?
That's true enough.
I suppose, but the cashier didn't remember.
And the ticket taker didn't either.
Look, what about the woman across the street? If her testimony don't prove it, then nothing does.
That's right. I mean, she saw the killing, didn't she?
Let's go in order.
Just a minute. Here's a woman who's lying in bed and can't sleep. It's hot, Anyway, she wakes up and looks out the window, and right across the street, she sees the kid stick the knife into his father.
How can she really be sure that it was the kid when she saw through the windows of a passing elevated train?
She's known the kid all his life. His window is right opposite hers, across the L tracks. And she swore she saw him do it.
I heard her swear to it.
And they proved in court that you can look through the windows of the passing L train that night and see across to the other side. They proved it.
Weren't you just telling us a minute or two ago that you can't trust them? That you can't believe them?
So,
Then I'd like to ask you something. Why'd you believe her? She's one of them too, isn't she?
you're a pretty smart fellow. Aren't you? Now take it easy.
Come on now. Sit down. What are you letting him get you all upset? Relax.
They did take us out to the women's room, and we were able to look through the windows of the passing elevated train. Didn't we?
Yes, we did.
And weren't you able to see what happened on the other side?
I didn't see as well as they told me I would see, but I was able to see what happened on the other side.
You see? Do you see?
they say something about give me a second, an argument between the boy and his father at around 7 o'clock that night? I mean, I could be wrong.
I think it was 8 o'clock, not 7.
That's right, 8 o'clock.
They heard the father hit the boy twice, and they saw the boy walk angrily out of the house.
Right.
What does that prove?
Well, it doesn't exactly prove anything, but it is part of the picture. I didn't say it proved anything.
Anything else?
No.
I don't know. Most things have been said already. I mean, we can sit here and talk all day, but I think we're wasting our time.
I don't.
Neither do I. So,
I mean, look at the kid's records. He stole a car. He was arrested for money. I think they said he stabbed somebody in the arm.
they did.
He was picked up for a knife fight, and at 15, he was in reform school.
And they sent him to reform school for stabbing somebody.
So very kind Lord.
Ever since he was 5 years old, his father beat him up regularly. He used his fists.
I'm not a kid like that.
You're right. It's the kids. The way they are, you know? They don't listen. I've got a kid. When he was 8 years old, he ran away from a fight. I saw him. I was so ashamed. I told him right out, I'm going to make a man out of you. I'm going to bust you into little pieces trying. When he was 15 years old, he hit me in the face. He's big, you know. Haven't seen him in 3 years. Violent kid! I hate tough kids! You hurt your heart out and then... Get on with it.
We're missing the point here. The boy, let's say, is a product of a filthy neighborhood and a broken home. We cannot help that. We're not here to go into reasons why slums are breeding grounds for criminals. They are. I know it. So do you. The children who come out of slum backgrounds are potential menaces to society.
You said it there. I don't want any part of them. Believe me.
I've lived in a slum all my life.
Now wait a second!
I used to play in a backyard filled with garbage. Maybe it still smells on me.
Now let's be reasonable. There's nothing.
There is something personal.
Come on now. She didn't mean you, feller. Let's not be so sensitive.
Who did she mean? I can't understand the sensitivity.
Now let's stop the bit.
We're wasting time.
It's your turn.
All right. I had a very peculiar feeling about this trial. Somehow I felt that the defense counsel never really conducted a thorough cross-examination. So many questions were never asked.
While this does not change my opinion about the guilt of the kid, still, I do agree with you that the defense counsel was bad.
So,
This is a point.
what about the hats?
So many questions were never answered.
What about the questions that were answered? For instance, let's talk about that cute little switch type. You know, the one that fine, upright kid admitted buying.
All right, let's talk about it. Let's get it in here and look at it again. I'd like to see it, Madam Foreman.
We all know what it looks like. I don't see why we have to look at it again. What do you think?
The gentleman has a right to see exhibits and evidence.
It's okay with me.
The switch knife is a pretty strong piece of evidence, don't you agree?
I do.
Now, let's get to the sequence of events right as it relates to the switch knife.
The boy admits to going out of the house at 8 o'clock after being slapped by his father.
Or punched.
Or punched. He went to a neighborhood store and brought a switch knife. The storekeeper was arrested the following day when he admitted selling it to the boy.
I think we can all agree that it's an unusual knife. Pretty hard to forget something like that.
The storekeeper identified the knife and said it was the only one of its kind that he had in stock. Why did the boy get it?
As a present for a friend of his, I suppose.
Am I right so far?
Right.
You bet he's right. Everybody listen to this man. He knows what he's talking about.
Next, the boy claims that on his way home, the knife must have fallen through a hole in his coat pocket, that he never saw it again. Now there's a story. You know what actually happened? The boy took the knife home, and then a few hours later, stabbed his father with it, and even remembered to wipe off the fingerprints. Everyone connected with the case identified this knife. Now, are you guys trying to tell me that some random person picked the knife off the streets, went to the boy's house, and stabbed his father with it just to be amusing?
No, I'm saying that it is possible that he lost the knife and that someone else stabbed his father with a similar knife. It is possible.
Take a look at that knife. It's a very strange knife. I've never seen one like it before in my life. Neither had the storekeeper who sold it to him. Are you trying to make this accepted for an incredible coincidence?
I'm not trying to make anyone accept it. I'm just saying that it is possible.
And I say that is not possible. What are you trying to do?
Yeah, what is this? Who do you think you are?
Let's be quiet.
Where did you get it?
I got it from a junk shop around the corner from the boy's house. It cost $2.
Now you listen to me.
I'm listening.
You pulled a real smart trick here, but you proved absolutely zero. Maybe there are 10 knives like that, so what?
Maybe there are.
The boy lied, and you know it.
And maybe he didn't lie. Maybe he did lose the knife, and maybe he did go to the movies. Maybe the cashier didn't recognize him because he snuck into the movies and was ashamed to say so. Is there anybody here who didn't sneak into the movies once or twice when they were young?
I didn't. Really? Not even once.
We didn't have movies.
Oh.
Maybe he did go to the movies, and maybe he didn't. And he may have lied. Do you think he lied?
Now that's a stupid question, sure. He lied.
Do you?
You don't have to ask me that. You know my answer. He lied.
Do you think he lied? I don't know.
How great is that? What are you guys aware? Listen, there are still 11 of us who think he's guilty. You want to be started in paint this jury? He'll be tried again and found guilty. Sure as he's born.
You're probably right.
So what are you going to do about it? We can be here all night.
It's only one night. A man may die.
Well, yes, that is true.
I think we ought to get on with it now.
Right, let's get going here.
How do you like this guy?
Well, what do you say? You're the one holding up the show.
Obviously, you don't think the boy is guilty.
I have a doubt in my mind.
But you haven't really presented anything to us that makes us possible to understand your doubt. There's the old man downstairs. He heard it. He heard the kid shriek it out.
The woman across the L tracks, she saw it.
You know he bought a switch night that night, and you don't know where he was. The movies? Earlier that night, Rick and his father did have a fight.
It's been violent shit all the way. While still that doesn't prove anything.
Still, you know.
I have a proposition to make. I want to call for a vote. I want you all to vote by a secret ballot. I'll abstain. If there are still 11 votes for guilty, I won't stand alone. We can take in a guilty verdict right now.
Okay, let's do it. That sounds fair. Everyone agree?
I certainly am.
Let's roll it.
Guilty. 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 Guilty.
That's it.
Please, 6 guilty. 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 Not guilty. Guilty.
How do you like that? Was it? You have a right to know. All right. Who did it? What idiot changed their vote?
Is that the way to talk about a man's life?
Whose life are you talking about? The life of a dead man or the life of a murderer? I want to know. Who? So do I.
Excuse me, this was a secret ballot.
Nobody looked while we did it, but now I want to know.
A secret ballot. We all agreed on that point, no? If they wanted to remain a secret...
What are you talking about? There are no secrets here. I know who did it. What's the matter with you? You come in here and you vote guilty, and then this slick creature starts to tear your heart out with stories about a kid who couldn't help becoming a murderer. So you change your vote. Now that's the most sickening thing that I've ever been.
I agree with you that the boy is guilty, but let's be fair.
Hold it. Be fair. That's just what I'm trying to do. We're trying to put a guilty man in the chair where he belongs. And now all of a sudden we're paying attention to fairy
Now,
tales.
just a minute.
Now you listen to me.
Let's try to keep this organized.
It isn't organized, but let's try to keep it civilized.
Please, I would like to say something here. I have always thought that the man was entitled to have unpopular opinions in this country. This is the reason why I came here. I wanted to have the right to disagree.
You disagree with us?
Usually I would. In this one case, I agree with you. The point I wish to make is that in my own country...
Oh, now! What did you listen to all the history of your country?
It is always wise to bear in mind what is happening in other countries, and people aren't allowed to disagree. But we are, so let's stick to the subject.
Yeah, let's stick to the subject. I want to ask you, why'd you change your vote?
I want to know too. You haven't told us yet.
Why do you think I did change my vote?
Because I do. Now get on with this.
There's nothing for him to tell you. He didn't change his vote. I did.
I was going to tell you, but you were so sure of yourselves.
Sorry. Okay, now,
Maybe you'd like to know why.
let me tell you why that kid's a killer.
The man wants to talk.
Thank you. This gentleman chose not to stand against us. That's his right. It takes a great deal of courage to stand alone, even if you believe in something very strongly. He left the verdict up to us. He gambled for support, and I gave it to him. I want to hear more. The vote is 10-2.
That's fine. If the speech is over, let's go on.
Is there anything in this kid's paper? I wrote not guilty.
I don't see what it is.
Neither are do I. We're talking about straws.
Guilty as they get. We can expect
Except one juror that's voting out. But he'll come around. He has to. And fundamentally, he's a very reasonable man.
I guess so.
They haven't come up with one real fact that should back up a not guilty verdict.
It's hard, you know?
Yes, it is. And what does guilty beyond a reasonable doubt really mean?
What is a reasonable doubt?
Exactly. When life is at stake, what is a reasonable doubt? You've got to have law and order. You've got to draw a line somewhere. And if you don't, everyone will start knifing at people.
Not much doubt here.
2 people think so. I wonder why. I really wonder why.
I mean, you do hear stories about innocent men gone to jail or even death sometimes, then years later things turn up.
And then on the other hand, some killers get turned loose and do it again. They squeeze out in some technicality and kill again.
Look, buddy, now that we kind of cooled down, I was a little
Jesus. The boy didn't kill his father.
As far as I know, we're supposed to be deciding whether or not the boy on trial is guilty. We're not concerned with anyone else's motives.
Who else had him?
Kid's father was along in years. Maybe they don't grudge.
Remember, it is guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. This is an important thing to remember.
Everybody's a lawyer. Supposing you explain to us what these reasonable doubts are.
This is not easy. So far, it's only a feeling I have. A feeling perhaps you don't understand.
No, I don't.
A feeling? What are we going to do? Spend the night talking about your feelings? What about that?
You said a mouthful. Look, the old man heard the kid yell to his father, "I'm going to kill you." A second later, he heard a body falling, and he saw the kid run downstairs and out of the house 15 seconds after that.
Where's the reasonable doubt now?
That's right. And let's not forget the woman across the street. She looked into the open window and saw the boy stab his father. She saw it.
No, that's not enough for you.
It's not enough for me.
What is enough for you? I'd like to know.
How do you like this guy? Just like talking to the phone.
The women saw the killing through the windows of a moving elevated train. The train had 5 cars and saw the killing through the last 2 cars. This woman remembers the most insignificant details.
Well, what have you got to say about that?
I don't know. It doesn't sound right to me.
Well, supposing you think about it. Lend me your pen. Let's play a game of tic-tac-toe. Might as well pass the time.
This isn't a game.
Now, wait a minute!
This is a man's life.
Who do you think you are? All right, let's take it easy. I've got a good mind to walk around this field and bounce on one.
Now, please, I don't want to be fighting here.
Did you see him? The nerve, the absolute nerve!
Get it? It don't mean anything.
How about sitting down?
This is a game. Who does he think he is?
Weren't we talking about elevated trains?
Yes, we were.
So,
All right. How long does it take an elevated train going at top speed to pass a given point?
what does that have to do with anything?
How long would it take? Guess.
I wouldn't have the slightest idea.
Neither would I.
I don't think they mentioned it.
What do you think?
About 10 or 12 seconds, maybe?
I'd say that's a pretty fair guess. Anyone else?
I could think about 10 seconds, perhaps.
About 10 seconds, yes.
All right, we're agreed. 10 seconds. What are you getting at?
This. An L train takes 10 seconds to get past a given point. That given point is the window of the room in which the killing took place. You could almost reach out of the window and touch the L, right?
That's right. I tried it.
So,
Well, let me ask you this. Did any of you ever used to live right next to the L tracks?
I've lived close to them.
They make a lot of noise, right? I used to live right by them. When your window's open and the train is going by, the noise is almost unbearable. You can't even hear yourself think.
Okay, you can't hear yourself think. Get to the point.
The old man downstairs heard the voice
He
say,
didn't say it, he screamed it.
okay, he heard the voice scream, I'm going to kill you. And then a second later heard the body fall. 1 second. That's the testimony, right?
Right.
The woman across the street looked through the windows of the last 2 cars of the L and saw the body fall, right?
right.
So, the last 2 cars. The last 2 cars!
What are you giving us here?
An L train takes 10 seconds to get past a given point. That's about 2 seconds per car. The train had been going by for at least 6 seconds, and maybe more, before the body fell, according to the woman. The old man would have had to hear the voice say, I'm going to kill you, while the front of the L was going right past his nose. It's not possible that he could have heard it.
What do you mean? Sure, he could have heard it.
With an L train going by,
He said the boy yelled it out.
an L train makes a lot of noise.
It's enough for me.
It's enough for me, too.
I don't think he could have heard it.
Maybe the old man didn't hear it. I mean, the bell noise?
What are you people talking about? Are you calling the old man a liar? bright sayings. Why don't you send one into the newspaper? They pay $2.
What does that have to do with a man's life? Why might the old man lie? You have a right to be heard.
It's just, I looked at him for a very long time. The seam of his jacket is split under his arm. Did you notice that? He was an old man who wore a torn jacket and carried 2 canes. I think I know him better than anyone here. This is a quiet, frightened, insignificant old man who has been nothing all his life, who has never had recognition. His name in the newspapers. No one knows him after 75 years. This is a very sad thing. This is a man who needs to be recognized, to be questioned, listened to, and quoted just once. This is very important.
And you're trying to tell us that he lied about a thing like this, just so he can be important?
No, he wouldn't really lie, but perhaps he'd make himself believe that he heard those words and recognized the boy's face.
Well, that's the most fantastic story I've ever heard. How can you make up a thing like that?
I'm not making it up.
You must be making it up. People don't lie about things like that.
He made himself believe he told the truth.
What do you know about it?
I know from experience.
What?
I am the same man.
I think we all understand now. Thank you.
If you want to admit you're a liar, it's all right by me.
Now that is too much.
He's a liar. He just told us so.
He did not say he was a liar, he was just explaining.
Didn't you just tell us that you're a liar?
Please, he was explaining the circumstances so that we might understand why the old man might have lied. There is a difference.
A lie is a lie. That's all there is to it.
Please, just have some compassion.
Please, we have our job and duty here.
I think that they covered it.
I hope we have.
All right, let's get on with it. Cough drop? No, thank you. Anybody want a cough drop? Come on, let's get on with it.
I'll take one.
Thank you.
All right. There's something else I'd like to point out here. I think we've proved that the old man couldn't have heard the voice say, "I'm going to kill you."
Well, I disagree.
Let's hear him through anyway.
But supposing the old man really did hear the voice say, "I'm going to kill you." This phrase, how many times do each use it? Probably hundreds. If you do that once more, Junior, I'm going to murder you. Come on, Rocky, kill him. We say it every day. This doesn't mean we're really going to kill some of them.
Don't the circumstances alter that somewhat?
The man was murdered.
One thing more. The phrase was, I'm going to kill you. And the kid screamed it out at the top of his lungs.
That's the way I understand it.
Now, don't try and tell me he didn't mean it. Anybody says something like that, the way he said it, they mean it. And how they mean it.
Well, then let me ask you this. Do you really think that the boy would shout out a thing like that so the entire neighborhood could hear it? I don't think so. He's much too bright for that.
Right! He's a comedy nerd's blob. He don't even speak good English.
He doesn't even speak good English.
That boy is clever enough.
I'd like to change my vote to none of those.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
The vote is 9-3 in favor of guilt.
I'd like to know why you changed your vote.
I think there's doubt.
Oh, come on. Where? What is the doubt?
There's the knife.
He talked you in a fairy tale.
Go on, give us a reason.
There's the old man too. Maybe he didn't lie, but then just maybe he did lie. Maybe he doesn't like the kid.
If that isn't the end.
I think there's a reasonable doubt.
What are you basing it on? Stories this guy made up? He had a regular Amazing Detective Monthly. He'd make a fortune. Listen, the kid had a lawyer, didn't he? Why didn't his lawyer bring up all these points?
Lawyers can't think of everything.
You sit here and you pull stories out of thin air. Now we're supposed to believe that the old man can get out of bed, run to the door, and take you beat it down the stairs 15 seconds after killing.
That's a testimony, I believe.
And the old man swore to this. Yes, he swore to this. Also, he could be important.
Did the old man say he ran to the door?
Ran, walked. What's the difference? He got there.
I don't remember what he said, but I don't see how he could have ran.
He said he went. I remember it now. He went from the bedroom to the front door. That's enough, isn't it?
Sorry, where was his bedroom again?
Down the hall somewhere?
Down the hall somewhere? Are we to send a man up to die because it's down the hall somewhere?
I remembered everything. Don't you remember that?
No, I don't.
I don't remember that either.
Madam Foreman, I'd like to take a look at the diagram of the apartment, please.
Why don't we run the whole trial over again just so you can get everything straight?
Down the hall somewhere? Do you know? No. Do you know exactly where it is? Please, there's a life at stake here. Do you know?
Oh,
Madam Foreman!
I heard you.
All right. What's this one for? Why are you the only one in the room who wants to see exhibits all the time?
I want to see this one too.
So do I.
And I want to stop wasting time.
Are we going to start wading through all that nonsense about where the body was found?
No. We're going to figure out how a man who's had 2 strokes in the past 3 years and walks with a pair of canes can get to the front door of his apartment in 15 seconds.
He said 20 seconds.
He said 15.
How does he know how long 15 seconds is? You can't judge a thing like that.
He said 15 seconds. He was very positive about it.
He's an old man. Half the time he was confused. How could he be positive about anything? Well, you know.
No, I don't know. Maybe you know.
This what you wanted?
That's right. Thank you.
Sure, that's my job.
You want this?
Yes. Thanks.
Do me a favor. Make notes. I looked at that diagram for 2 hours. Enough is enough.
Some of us are interested. Go ahead.
All right. This is the apartment in which the killing took place. The old man's apartment was exactly the same and directly beneath it. These are the L tracks. This is the bedroom. Another bedroom. Living room. Bathroom. Kitchen. And this is the hall. This is the front door and these are the steps. Now, the old man was in bed in this room. He says he got up, went out into the hall, went down the hall and opened the front door and looked out, just in time to see the boy racing down the steps. Am I right so far?
That's the story.
That's what happened?
15 seconds after he heard the body fall.
Correct.
His bed was by the window. It's about 12 feet from his bed to the bedroom door. And the length of the hall is 43 feet 6 inches. He had to get up and out of bed, get his canes, walk 12 feet and open the bedroom door, and then walk 43 feet and open the front door, all in 15 seconds. Do you think this is possible?
You know it's possible.
I don't see why not.
He would have been in a hurry. He did hear the scream.
He could only walk very slowly. They had to help him into the witness chair.
Make it sound like it's a long walk. It's not. What are you doing?
You want to try this thing? Let's see how long it took him. I'm going to pace off 12 feet, the length of his bedroom.
You're crazy. You can't recreate anything like that.
Perhaps, if we could see it.
It's a ridiculous waste of time.
Let him do it.
I can't see any harm in it. It's foolish, but go ahead.
Hand me a chair, please. I got it. Thank you. All right. This is the bedroom door. How far would you say it is from here That's shorter than the length of the hall the old man had to move through, right?
A few feet, maybe.
Look, this is absolutely insane. What makes you think you can do this?
We can't stop him. Do you mind if I just try it? According to you, this will only take 15 seconds. We can spare that. Does anybody have a watch with the second hand?
I have.
When you want me to start, stamp your foot. That'll be the body follow.
We'll have you from there.
Let's say he keeps his canes right at his bedside. Right?
Right.
Okay, I'm ready.
I'm waiting for the hand to get 16. Speed it up! You walk twice as fast as that!
This is, I think, even more quickly than the old man talked in the courtroom.
No, it's not.
If you want me to walk faster, I will.
Speed it up a little.
Stop!
Right?
What was the time?
15, 20, 30, 35, 39 seconds.
That can't be.
39 seconds?
Now, that's interesting.
Hey, now. No.
What do you think of that?
39 seconds! 39!
And the old cripple swore under his oath that it was within teens.
He may have been a little bit off on the time that the old cripple moved at, but 24 seconds off, well, now you know.
Far be it for me to call anyone a liar, and even for allowing you to find a difference in speed between the old man and you. Why, still there's quite a...
Quite a discrepancy.
It's my best guess that the old man was trying to get to the door and heard someone already racing down the steps and then just assumed that it was the boy. I think that's possible.
Now listen to me, you people. I've seen all kinds of dishonesty in my day, but this little display takes the cake.
What kind of dishonesty?
Tell him! You come in here with your heart bleeding all over the floor about slum kids and injustice, and you make up these wild stories, and you've got these soft-hearted old ladies listening to you, while I'm not. I'm getting real sick of you. What's the matter with you people? This kid is guilty. He's got to burn. We're letting him slip through our fingers.
Our fingers? Are you his executioner?
I'm one of them.
Perhaps you'd like to pull the switch.
For this kid, you better get to the switch.
I'm sorry for you.
Don't start with me.
What it must feel like to want to pull the switch.
Shut up.
You're a sadist.
Shut up!
You want to see this boy die because you personally want it, not because of the facts. You know what? You are a beast. You disgust me.
Let go of me! I'll kill him! I'll kill him!
You don't really mean to kill me, do you?
Everything all right? I heard some noise.
No, there's something wrong. You can take that back. We're finished.
Well, what are you looking at?
I don't see why we have to be able to
Nor do I. We have a responsibility. This is the remarkable thing about democracy, that we are, notified. That we are notified by mail to come down to this place and decide on the guilt or the innocence of a man we have not known before. We have nothing to gain or lose by our verdict. This is what makes us strong. We should not make it a personal thing.
Thank you. Very much.
Why do you think?
You forget. It's good to be reminded.
I'm glad that we're going to be civilized about this.
Well, we're still nowhere.
No, we're somewhere. We're getting there. Maybe.
Maybe.
Who's got an idea?
I think maybe we should call for another vote. Madam Forewoman.
It's all right with me. Anybody that doesn't want to vote.
Let's vote.
Yes, vote.
All right?
Let's do it.
I want an open ballot. Let's call our votes out. I want to know who stands where.
That sounds fair. Anyone objects? All right. I'll call for your numbers. I vote guilty. 2. Not guilty. 3.
Guilty.
4.
Guilty.
5.
Not guilty.
6.
Not guilty.
7. Guilty. 8.
Not guilty.
9.
Not guilty.
10.
Guilty.
11.
Not guilty.
12.
Guilty.
That's 6 to 6.
I'll tell you something! The crime is being committed right in this room!
The vote is 6 to 6.
I'm ready to walk into court right now and declare a hung jury. There's no point in this going on anymore.
I'd like to know why you changed your mind. And why you changed your mind. And why you did. There are 6 people here who think that we may be turning a murderer loose out in the streets. Emotion won't do. 5.
Well, it would seem the old man not hear the boy run downstairs. I do not think it likely that the old man heard the boy scream, "I'm going to kill you!" Old men, they dream. And if the boy did scream that he was going to kill, then we have the authority of this woman to prove that it might not really mean that he's going to kill.
Why don't we take it to the judge and let the kids get his chance with 12 other people? 6 to 6. I don't think we'll ever agree on anything.
It's gotta be unanimous. And we're never gonna convince him.
Before I was alone. Now 5 others agree. There is a doubt.
You can't ever convince me that there's a doubt. Because I know that there isn't no doubt.
I tell you what, maybe we are hungry. Happens sometimes.
No, we are not going to be a hung jury.
But we are right now. A perfect balance. Let's take it to the judge.
Is this reasonable doubt? I don't see it.
The doubt is there, in my mind.
Maybe we should vote.
What do we know? Not again.
I still want to know. Vote on what?
Are we or aren't we a hung jury?
Do you mean that we vote yes, we are a hung jury, or that we vote no, we aren't a hung jury?
That's just what I was thinking of.
We can't even agree whether or not the window should be open.
Let's make it a majority vote. The majority wins.
If 7 or more of us vote yes, that we are a hung jury, then we take it into the judge and tell him that we are a hung jury.
Right. And if 7 or more vote no, then we are a hung jury. So we go on discussing.
It doesn't seem quite right to me.
It's the only solution.
I agree. It's the only way.
Anything to end this.
Are we agreed then? 7 or more vote yes, and then we take it into the judge?
Let's call our votes out.
I vote yes. We're a hung jury. 2? No. 3?
Yes.
4?
Yes.
5?
No.
6?
No.
7? Yes. 8?
No.
9?
No.
10?
Yes.
11?
No.
12?
Yes.
Oh, no.
The vote is 6 to 6.
We can't even get a majority to decide if we're a hung jury.
I went along with the majority vote on this question, and I didn't agree with voting that way. Well, not really, and I still don't. So I'm changing my vote. I say no, we are not a hung jury. I think the boy is guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. There's still some things I want to find out from those people that changed their minds.
Then we are a hung jury. So we go on.
Good. We go on.
Why did you change your mind?
He seems so sure, and he's made a number of good points, while she only gets mad and insults everybody.
Does the anger and the insult change the guilt to the boy? He did do it. Are you going to turn a murderer loose because one of the jurors gets angry when she thinks a murderer is being turned loose?
That's true.
There is a doubt.
I don't think so. The track is straight in front of the window. Let's take that point. So, the train road made a low rumbling noise. I'll change streets when they go around curves. So the old man could have heard a scream, which is high-pitched. And it is a tenement, and they have
Good, that's it.
And what if the old man was wrong about the time it took to get to the front door, but right about whom we saw? Please remember that there weren't any fingerprints on the knife, and it's summer, so gloves seem kind of unlikely.
Now I want you to listen to this man. He's got the goods.
And it may have taken a few seconds to grab a handkerchief and wipe all of the fingerprints away.
This is the point.
Why don't we time this one? See,
Just what are the time?
Yes, let's be exact, please.
I'm saying that the old man could have been wrong about the time it took him to get to the front door, but right about whom he saw running down the stairs. Now, it may have taken the murderer around 39 seconds to wipe all the fingerprints away and get to the place where the old man saw him. The boy, that is.
this is right.
We reconstructed the old man getting out of bed and going to the door, and we timed that. Now let's reconstruct the actual crime.
As well as we can reconstruct it.
I think a murderer could use 30 or 40 seconds pretty easily at that point.
Let's reconstruct the killing.
Yes, let's.
You stab it.
No, I'll do it.
Why don't you be the one that gets stabbed? You're younger than I am, and don't forget, it takes 1 second to fall.
And who's found on his right side? His right side. So, fall and walk onto your right side. If someone hits another person and not you kill them, don't you think that's reasonable to suppose that the murderer will look at his victim for a second or two?
Divorce yourself from this particular case. Just human nature.
Yes, it seems reasonable.
Hey, wait a minute. He falls and ends up on his right side. The father does. But stabbing someone isn't like shooting them, even when it's right in the heart. He would have worked around for a few seconds, lying on the floor, writhing in pain.
That's quite possible. There would have been enough oxygen in his system to carry out him for 2 or 3 seconds, I should think.
Wouldn't the father have cried out?
Maybe the kid held his mouth.
That also seems possible.
Also, there's another point that we might bring out. Anyone who is clear enough mentally to wipe the fingerprints away off the knife, well, that person is also clear enough mentally to look around the apartment, or the room in this case, for any other clues. It would only take 1 to 2 seconds, I should think, but still, the murderer will look around.
This gets better and better.
We're trying to make it clear. One does not talk about quality when murder is involved. Well, let's do it.
About this on the fingerprints. The kid wiped the fingerprints off the knife. Well, what about the doorknob? If I saw a man come into my home, a man that hated me, and if he was wiping the doorknobs off with a handkerchief as he came in, it would give me an uneasy feeling. So, the doorknobs must have been wiped after the killing, and this too would take some time.
You tried the last one. Why don't you try this one as well?
All right.
Stand here first when we want you to start.
I'm waiting for the hand to be at 60.
I am going to kill you. He wouldn't have wiped both knobs. Stop.
20, yeah. 20, 25, 29. About 29 and a half seconds, I'd say.
And whoever did murder the old man, and I think he was a kid, he still had to run down the hall and down the stairs, at least 1 flight of stairs.
You see?
The old man could have been wrong about the time, But frankly, in view of this, I think it's quite reasonable to assume that he did see the kid run downstairs.
Both times we. What, we're running downstairs and we touched pretty much about it.
Sure, he's an old man who wants attention, but old man is the same way everyone does. There is a stick here.
So the story of the old man may well be true.
Except for the fact that he absolutely swore under oath that it was only 15 seconds.
We seem to all agree that it was 25 to 40 seconds later.
You are now admitting that the old man lied in one case and told the truth in the other. I do admit that this does tend to confirm the story of the old man, but in part he is now a proven liar, and this is by your own admission.
That may be true if the old man lies in part, but I think we should change my vote.
Guilty. And what about you? What do you think now?
Oh, I'm not too sure, I think. I want to talk some more. Well, at first I thought guilty, then I changed. Now, I'm sort of switching back to guilty.
What about you? What do you think now?
No, I am in real doubt. Real doubt.
I say guilty. I was right the first time.
Now we're beginning to make sense in here.
It seems to be about non-guilty of 3 not guilty.
One more question about the old man downstairs. How many of you live in apartment buildings?
I don't know about your thinking, but I know what I'm thinking.
What's that?
I do not live in a tenement, but it is close, and there's just enough light in the hall so you could see the steps. No more. The light bulbs are so small, and this murder took place in a tenement. Remember how we stumbled on the steps?
The police officers were using big bulbs, and one even had a flashlight. Remember?
An old man who misjudged the time by 20 seconds. On this we all agree. This old man looked down the dark hallway of the tenement and recognized the running figure.
He was 100% wrong about the time. It took twice as long as he thought.
Then could he not have been 100% wrong about who he saw?
That's the most idiotic thing I've ever heard of. You're making that up out of thin air.
We're a hung jury. Let's be honest about it.
Do you truly feel that there is no room for reasonable doubt?
Yes, I do.
Pardon me, but maybe you don't understand the term reasonable doubt.
What do you mean I don't understand it? Who do you think you are to talk to me like that? How do you like this guy? He comes over here running for his life. And before he can take a big breath, he's telling us how to run the show? The arrogance of it!
No one is asking where anyone came from,
I was born right here!
or where your father came from.
Maybe it wouldn't hurt us to take a few tips from people who come running here. Maybe they learned something that we didn't. We aren't so perfect.
Please, I am used to this. It's all right, thank you.
No, it is not all right.
Okay. Okay. Sorry. Stop.
Yes, that's what I want.
All right, let's stop the argument. Who's got something constructive to say? Well, something's been bothering me. This whole business about the stab wound and how it's made, the downward angle of it, you know?
Oh, don't tell me we're going to start that again. They went over and over it in court.
I know they did, but I don't know how long is it. The boy is 5 feet 8 inches tall. His father was 6 feet 2 inches tall. That's a difference of 6 inches. It's a very awkward thing to stab down into the chest of someone who's half as much taller than you are.
Look, you're not going to be satisfied until you see it again. Let me give you a demonstration. Somebody get up. Okay. Now watch this. I don't want to have to do it again. Is that 6 inches?
That's more than 6 inches.
Okay. Let it be more. All right, let's not be silly.
Did you?
No, I didn't.
Where do you get all your information about how it's done?
What do you mean? It's just common sense.
Have you ever seen a man stabbed?
No.
Let me ask you something. The kid's an experienced knife fighter. He was even sent to reform school for knifing someone. Isn't that so?
That's right.
Look at this. Doesn't this seem like an awkward way to handle a knife?
What are you asking me for?
Wait a minute. What's the matter with you? Give me that knife.
Have you ever seen a knife fight?
Yes, I have.
In the movies?
In my backyard, on my stoop, in the vacant lot across the street. Too many of them. Switch knives, just like this one, came with the neighborhood where I lived. Funny I didn't think of it before. I guess you try to forget those things. Anyone who's ever used a switch knife never would have stabbed downwards. You don't handle it that way. You use it underhand.
Then he couldn't have made the kind of wound that killed his father.
I suppose it's conceivable that he could have made the wound, but definitely not likely. Not if he'd ever had an experience with switch knives, and we know that he did have a lot of experience with switch knives.
I don't believe it.
Neither do I. You're giving us a lot of mumbo jumbo.
What do you think?
I don't know.
What about you?
Listen, I'll tell you all something. I'm a little sick of this whole thing. Let's pack it up and go home.
Before we decide anything more, I'd like to try and put this together.
This should be good.
He has it right. Let him go ahead.
You want me to time this too? Let's hear them.
I'm an advertising. I'm used to the big shots pulling things together. Let's ship up a few shots, see what even land on the big.
I want you all to look at this logically and consistently.
We have guilty.
I want to know, is this kid smart or is he dumb?
What do you mean?
The kid's an experienced knife fighter. The night of the murder, he bought a knife, a switch knife. It would then take a very stupid kid to go and murder a man, his father, with an instrument that everyone would associate with the kid.
I quite agree. He's dumb.
However, if he were dumb, then why would he make the kind of wound that an inexperienced man with a knife would make?
Not sure I understand.
To murder someone takes great emotion, great hatred. And in that moment, the kid would handle the knife as best as he could. And a trained knife fighter would handle it as he had been trained. Underhand. A man who hadn't been trained would go overhand, but the kid is being very smart. Everyone knows that he's an experienced knife fighter. So in that moment, he's smart enough to make the kind of wound that an amateur would make. That man is a smart man. Smart enough to wipe the fingerprints away. Perhaps even smart enough to do the killing while an L train is going by in order to cover the noise. Now, is the kid smart or is he dumb?
Hey, now wait a minute.
Well, the woman across the L track saw the murder through the L train. So someone on that L train could have seen it too.
A possibility, but no one did that we know of.
It would take an awfully dumb man to take that chance, doing the murder as the train went by.
Exactly, a dumb man, a very stupid man, a man swept by emotion. Probably he heard nothing. He probably didn't even know that the train was coming. But whoever did murder the father did it as well as he could.
So,
The kid is dumb enough to do everything to associate himself with a switch knife murder. But then a moment later, and after the killing, he becomes smart. The kid is smart enough to make the kind of wound that would lead us to suspect someone else. And yet, at that same instant, he is dumb enough to do the killing while an L train is going by. And then a moment later, he becomes smart enough to wipe the fingerprints away. To make this boy guilty, you have to say he is dumb from 8 o'clock until about midnight. And then about midnight, he is smart for 1 second, then dumb a few seconds, then smart again, and then once again, he becomes stupid. So stupid that he doesn't even think of a good alibi. Now, is the kid smart or is he dumb? Because to say this boy is guilty, you have to toss his intelligence like a pancake all agree that it must have been almost 40 seconds.
Does the old man lie half the time and then tell the truth the other half of the time?
For the kid to be guilty, he must be stupid, then smart, then stupid, and then smart, and so on. Oh, and also, for the kid to be guilty, the old man must be a liar half the time, and the other half of the time he must tell the truth. You can reasonably doubt.
I'm sold on reasonable doubt.
I think I am too.
I wanted more time. And now I've had it.
I want another vote.
Okay, there is another vote called for. I guess the easiest way is to show of hands. Anyone object? All right. All those voting not guilty, raise your hands. None. All those voting guilty? 3. The vote is 9-3 in favor of acquittal.
I don't understand you people. How can you believe this kid is innocent? Look, you know how those people lie? I don't have to tell you. They don't know what the truth is. And let me tell you, they don't need any big reason to kill someone either. You know, they get drunk and bang! Somebody's lying in the gutter! Nobody's blaming them. That's just how they are. You know what I mean? Fight! Human life to mean as much to them as it does to us. Hey, where are you all going? Oh, sure. There's a few good things about them, too. Look, I'm the first to say that. But you have to know, these people are drinking and fighting all the time. And if somebody gets killed, so somebody gets killed. They don't care. There's been a few who are pretty decent, but that's the exception. Most of them, it's like they have no feelings. They can do anything. Where are you guys going? I'm speaking my piece, and you listen to me! They're no good. There's not one of them who's any good. We better watch out. Take it from me, this kid on trial, well, don't you know? Listen to me! What are you doing? I'm trying to tell you something!
I've had enough. You open your mouth again, I'm going to slit your skull.
Tell you.
All right, sit down, everybody. I still believe the boy is guilty of murder. I'll tell you all why. To me, the most damning piece of evidence was given by the woman across the street who actually claimed she saw the murder committed.
Right, as far as I'm concerned, that's the most important testimony.
All right, let's go over her testimony. What exactly did she say?
I believe I can recount it accurately. She said that she went to bed around 11 o'clock that night. Her bed was right next to the open window, and she could look out the window while lying down and see directly into the window across the street. She tossed and turned for over an hour, unable to fall asleep. Finally, she turned toward the window at about 12:10, and as she looked out the window, she saw the boy stab his father. As far as I can see it, this is unshakable testimony.
That's what I mean, that's the whole case.
Frankly, in view of this, I don't know how you people could acquit him. What do you think about it?
Well, I don't know. I mean, there's so much evidence.
What do you mean, I don't know? He's absolutely right. You can throw out all the other evidence.
That was my feeling. I don't deny any of the validity of the points that he has made. Shall we all say on one side of the tracks there is doubt, but But what did he say about the story of the woman? She saw it.
What time is it?
10 to 6.
You don't suppose let us go home and finish shit in the morning? I got a kid with mumps.
Not a chance.
Sorry, can't you see the clock without your glasses?
Not clearly.
Huh.
Glasses are elusive, aren't they?
Well, what do you all do when you wake up in the middle of the night and want to see what time it is?
I put my glasses on and look at the clock.
I just lie in bed and wait for the clock to chime. My father gave it to me when we married, my wife and I. It was about 10 years before we had a place to put it.
Do you wear your glasses to bed?
Of course not. No one wears eyeglasses to bed.
What about the woman who testified that she saw the killer? She wore glasses.
Did she wear glasses?
Of course! The woman wore bifocals. I remember this very clearly. You looked quite strong.
That's right. Bifocals. You never took them off.
Funny, I never thought of that.
I think it's logical to say that she wasn't wearing her glasses in bed, and I don't think she put them on to glance casually out the window. She testified that the murder happened the moment she looked out the window, and that the lights went out a split seconds later. She wouldn't have had time to put on her glasses then. Now, perhaps she honestly thought that she saw the boy kill his father. I say that she only saw a blur.
How do you know what she saw? Maybe she's farsighted. How does he know all these things?
Does anyone still think that there isn't a reasonable doubt?
I always wonder, but there is a reasonable doubt.
I think he's guilty.
Does anyone else?
No, I'm convinced now. There is a reasonable doubt.
We're waiting.
I don't care if I'm alone or not. I have a right.
Yes, you have a right.
Well, I told you I think he's guilty. What else do you want?
Your argument.
I gave you my arguments.
We're not convinced. We're waiting to hear them. We have time.
Listen, what's the matter with you? You're the guy. You gave all the arguments. This kid is guilty. You can't turn now. A guilty man's going to be walking the streets. A murderer. He's got to die. Stay with me.
I'm sorry. I'm convinced now. I don't think I'm wrong often, but I guess I was this once. There is a reasonable doubt in my mind.
We're still waiting.
You're not going to intimidate me. I'm entitled to my opinion. It's gotta be a hung jury. That's it.
There's nothing we can do about that except hope that maybe one day, in a couple months, you might get some sleep.
Look at you now. You're all alone.
It takes a great deal of courage to stand alone.
If it is a hung jury, then there will be another trial, and some of us will point these things out to the various lawyers.
All right.
They're waiting. Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Riverdale High School. And just quickly, we wanted to say thank you on behalf of the entire drama club. We wanted to say thank you to the people who have helped us put this together. So we'd like to first of all say thank you to Mr. Wilson, our director. He's helped us create this entire set, so we'd love to thank you. And the Herbeck, because they're always here helping us out. To the RDHS. Basically, they're just a group of parents who, most of our parents actually, and they just help us. They get food while this entire week is happening, and they have to deal with us. So we'd like to say thank you to them. Thank you much for everyone who came to see the show. I hope you guys enjoy it.